Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm here with another DZBT deck profile. In this time I will be covering a updated version of the Levidras. So we do have some update from DZBT07, even though like the changes giving to the deck is a little bit more kind of a minimal thing, but it's actually helpful. And actually we are seeing more and more chances of Levidras coming back to the competitive scene in Japan, because like in the past a lot of people are more towards the resale sort of way to play in a tournament, because it's giving you sort of more drive checks, and the thing is kind of stable, and you also have like the safety net with the defined skill. If you check your deck top like with your skills at all times, then you can sort of getting a better control instead of with Levidras. Because Levidras, even though the deck is actually very strong, gives you a lot of draw, minusing power to your opponent, allows you to do a little bit of early rush if you want to. Through the right line, you can at least grab a card that you desire for, which is very important as well. But the attack is kind of also at the time is very stable, but then that also means you are not going to give your opponent too much of a surprise, and at the same time things are actually quite fixed on what you see on the board, and you are kind of relying on what you draw in your hand to survive a turn and then go into the next turn, right? So compared to Resal, where you can a little bit more reliant on defensive trigger, is less stronger instead of like talking about the defensive side. So that's the thing. But now with HASATA actually getting into play, with actually a lot of multiple attacks going on, the need of seeing Levidras is actually coming back a little bit more, because you can spread a lot of markers to the front row and keep minusing power and keep drawing cards to survive. And kind of like Levidras with HASATA, the Vanguard attack is actually the most scary one, so you know where to block. So I can see why people taking a lot more people taking Levidras into the competitive scene more and more. For English, it's just it was like kind of all over the place for a period as well. So I think it's a good time for us to go into the deck again, see what has changed, and yeah, that's basically it. And let's go into the deck profile. For the right line, we are using the Levidras right line, because the grade 1 allows you to just go into the grade 2 for free. Grade 2, you just go into the grade 3 and then you just energy blast free, top 5, and grab basically anything, because you won't be putting anything grade 4 or hard. So you can basically grab anything to your hand, which can be linking to your combo piece, which can be the old Levidras, but what you need to place 3 markers for. So the right line is perfect for itself. Saving your hand allow you a little bit more room for early defensive or early rushing. So that's why the right line is just that good. And then the Levidras package is fully there, because you do need the Levidras to actually get the defined skill, and you need to put the Levidras to get 3 markers. 2 markers is still okay, worse or the worst, but for your first move, first time to place any infinite eyes markers, is definitely the best for you to put the old Levidras there to put 3, so that you basically get most of your skills online when they are requiring a total of 3 infinity eyes markers on the board, which if you don't go second and go in for the defined skill, you never can get there. So no matter what, you still need the old Levidras for defined skill to put more markers, or to put 3 markers at the start. So so far I don't see a reason you should cut the old Levidras, because it's really going to be dangerous if you don't draw into it, and relying on 2 markers every turn is just not going to be enough. And And next, free Shamnet. I am thinking of should I go for 4, because she is a very good beater. She retires herself, also pop something for you so that you can move your space around, getting more power, draw your cards. So it's still a good card, but she really doesn't have shield value, which is good for you to just ditch her early game for using your right line. But as a card in hand, she might not be what you are always want to keep in your hand, right? Because she doesn't have any shield value. So in my build, I actually turn her to 3, so that I have a little more cards with shield value that helps me survive a little bit more. But she definitely is still a very strong card. Once she gets into the drop zone, even just 1, basically just what you need. And you just revive her every turn, retire something that you want to reborn and reuse the next turn, and then pop herself to draw a card. But do remember, because she will pop herself, that means you will always need to leave another front row regard, so that Basagra will not get the draw. So do be careful on that. As long as you are aware of that, I think you will be fine as well. Okay, next, 4 of the Holies for the Reborn. Also because we get enough markers so easy, so her power buff will almost always be active, which is a very good thing for you to have. So yeah, that's her. And next is 4 Anacasto for checking the top deck, for getting the power for attacking from the back row. Something that you can always pop with the Shamnet if you need to, then reborn the next turn to keep looking the top cards of the deck. So they are good combis, and she is this is definitely the card for you to win games, because not only that the attacking from back row, increasing the number of attack is important, but you can also grab a card and get to look at the top cards of the deck, which for offensive wise is definitely a very good card. I wish it is like a more generic card for my other Stoichia decks, but unfortunately it's not. So yeah, just make sure you have 4 of these so you have a higher chance to actually meet it. And then next is the Acquired Pampheret. So this is a new card that we're given when it is placed on regular circle with your Infinity Eyes marker. So when you play this card on top of a circle that has a marker, the Infinite Eyes marker, it will get +5 at the end of turn. And if your Infinity Eyes marker is on your other regard circle, that is also the same color as this unit, just one of your other regards, and so will also get +5 at the end of turn. So no matter it is something that can be attacked from the back row or maybe a boost, the power buff given is going to help, is going to add a little chemicals to your attack power. So it's not that kind of easy to calculate, because that's little thing coming in that unless people are aware of this is happening, they might count their shield a little bit less. So it's a very good addition to the deck. Also, at the end of the battle, this unit attack, you can retire this unit as a cost. The top 7 cards of the deck choose up to 1 review or higher card with Levidras in the card name, amount of review it added to your hand and shuffle your deck. So you can pick up the next bullet with the old Levidras, or you can actually grab a person, right? Because it's only say Levidras in the card name, it doesn't say that it's not the same as your Vanguard, so you can just pick any of these, which to a long game is very important, because meeting your person, right, meaning you get to draw, you get the front row power, that increase the shield value required, and what it does is only going to retire himself, where you can have a lot of ways to reborn through Holy, through whatever that you need to. So it's definitely great, but I don't see myself actually reborning this card too much, because you probably only need to grab like 1 to 2 Levidras throughout the whole game, then it should already be enough. So also not using too much, that's also the reason, right? But do remember, because it retires himself, that means you will need to, again, facing Babsaga, make sure you have another regard that doesn't pop themselves in the front row, so that Babsaga don't get dropped. That's very important. And then the Dual Nation, for another card to checking the top card of the deck, which again is very important for you to win. Also creating the drop zone if you actually need to, right? And it allows you to also call units out that is grade 2 or higher. So basically all these can be called out early game for you to do the rushing if you need to, especially when you are going first. Calling a 13k against an 8k and then you suddenly get a trigger is not a joke, because 15k is not enough and their 20k front is not active yet. So yeah, it's very important, I think, still. Even though we don't actually involve ourselves with order cards this much right now, especially normal orders, which this card can pick, but we usually ignoring that part of the skill right now. Which more important is to check the top card, you trigger, leave it on top. If it's something that you want to reborn later, you can put it to the drop zone, or you can even just try to fake your opponent by putting a normal unit on top, so when you attack they will give you the guard. That's some ideas that you can actually try. But I think if you have a holy in your hand already, it's good to still put the normal unit to the drop zone so you can reborn it later. Or if it's even this, you can just drop this and then use the second part of the skill to bring it out. So like whatever you do is still a win-win, so I think it's definitely good. And if you see things like PGs, if you see things like twin cast, then you definitely can just even leave it on top and make sure it is going to your hand. That is still a very good information to have, right? Next we have 3 of the Fox Seal. I cut 1, which I think is okay, even though it is a very important card for you to have, not only to boost your Levidras to a very high attack level, but also is going to enable another attack for you. So I think 3 is the minimum that you should have. If you really want to use 4, then you can go for 4, which is up to you. And then I'm using 2 of the scrolls to do the move attacks, do the big boost, and then move around. And then hopefully I can let it to attack on the backward with the fossil. So I think this ratio is up to you what you want to adjust, or even a little bit on here. These 3 cards I think is up to you what you want to adjust, and this if you want to put the 4 you can, but it's just slight changes to what you think fitting you. I focus on more on the shield value side, and then creating the drop and get to look at the top card of the deck, and then go into the multiple attack, and then go into what allows me to do the multiple attack while giving a big boost. So that's the ratio there, but if you want to adjust for yourself, definitely go for it. And then PGs is just 1 blitz, 3 of the normal PGs, so nothing too much to say about that, I guess. If you want to use the other blitz or the PG, you can use it. That doesn't really matter too much right now, unless we are going to see some crazy grade 4 plays into the game, which maybe not, depending on how Drag Drew actually comes. You might try to switch this to something else, but so far it's fine. And then 1 of the chain casts for the extra defensive. Again, nothing too much to say about that, because with this deck you are trying to survive as much as you can. Okay, next we are going through the triggers. For OT, I'm using the Stoic OT, because I think in the past I will be using the Dark OT, but now I think the crit side is more important, so I am going for this. Also the effects given is also great, so there we go. For crits, well, I'm just using whatever I have right now. But if you want to max out your sewing crit, you can. To me, the triggers are basically all defensive value, so nothing too much to like worry on. If you don't have the sewing crit, just use the normal crit, that is fine. But if you want to, and if you have the spare money for the sewing crit, you can go for it, so that in case you need some souls to actually get things going, you have it there. But even if you don't, I don't think it's that much of a big deal. So just use whatever crits you have, will be fine. But if you have the sewing crit, it's a good plus. And then I'm using for the Trinity fronts. Even though the sewing crit can help me kind of reduce the soul issues, even I normally don't have that problem, but the shield value is actually more important here, because you are relying on your draws from even the ice markers, and then whatever you draw, the shield value is important for you to survive from big attacks. So I focus on the shield value, and that's why I am actually using less crit and more on the fronts instead of just 3 fronts. So that's usually what I prefer when I want a deck with a little bit more defensive, while it can swing a little bit bigger on the size, while your Vanguard is usually attacking first. I am going for the Trinket fronts. And then just 4 normal heals. Nothing too much to say about that again. It's just the basic shield value. Yeah. So the deck itself, the changes given is not like a very massive change. It's more on adjusting the ratios on these, adding this in, and then yeah, that's basically it. So the way you play is still basically the same, I would say, like having at least 1 on the board, probably have a holy on the side, and then bring this out, and then have your Foxy right there, and then have this right there. That's basically your formation, right? Yeah, that's basically what you should aim for, and then just make sure you do your attacks correctly. Few things. Hopefully try to get these like together, so when this swing and this to boost, you can first pop something. So these have to attack first, of course, and then you pop it to get the power, and then you pop yourself a draw on, right? And then this will move to another side. So it can be yet another big boost. Or if you apply the Foxy effects to here, then you use this attack first and then going with this, right? So make sure you take care of your attack sequence even if you get a good board, because if you somehow put it like this, you will be like having a little bit trouble, I would say. Even though you can still like go for of course go for this, right? Turning this to something that is attacked from the back row able, and then use this to swing, pop this, and then use this to do a big swing, and then move it here, and then attack again. You can still do that, but it might not be efficient enough, because you are not trying to push through your opponent with big attacks early enough while they are on like 5 damage or something. Then this allows them to survive a lot of attacks and suddenly pull something crazy like an OT or a 6 damage heal, and then they survive for the turn. Then that's not what you want to see, right? So yeah, I think basically what I need to tell about is here. If you have any questions on the Levidras deck itself, any other cards that you're using, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I am preparing the next Soccer Academy fighting against this deck, so I think it's good to also show you guys my build here and some ideas before we do like a revision over there. Yeah, so at least you know what kind of content you probably will be seeing in the Levidras deck, and then when I'm going through it in the Soccer Academy on what you need to do, what you need to consider as a soccer player, it can at least give you a little bit more clear image while you have the other deck in mind, what it's exactly trying to do, what it usually contains. I think that would be helpful. yeah, so yeah, that's basically for this video. Subscribe for more deck profile unboxings, deck fight videos. We are going to have a team tournament very soon, so fight videos will revive very soon again. Yeah, I think that's all I need to say today. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.